Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best film legacies that are now tarnished due to controversy.
I came here to take my son home.
Number 10. All the Money in the World.
I knew it the very first moment I visited this place.
No matter the quality, this adult drama will always be remembered as the Kevin Spacey movie that wasn't. In a truly epic case of bad timing, the film was slated for release right when the actor weathered a tsunami of sexual misconduct allegations.
When he was just 14, the actor swept him off his feet and threw him on a bed before he was able to wriggle free.
Since Spacey's role was pivotal to the plot and impossible to edit around, the producers were stuck between a rock and an unreleasable money sink. Their solution? Get Christopher Plummer to stand in front of a green screen and digitally replace every single shot of Spacey.
What's all this I see on TV with Gail?
It was still too uncanny for most moviegoers, but at least it's something. American Beauty, on the other hand, is pretty much unsalvageable. Number 9. Twilight Zone, the movie. Three actors meeting their end in a freak helicopter accident sounds like the plot of an actual Twilight Zone episode. But sadly, this is not fiction. The last-minute addition of two orphan characters had lethal consequences when a botched stunt sent real helicopter debris flying.
It was a freak accident. A helicopter involved in the movie crashed into them. They died instantly.
As if actor Vic Morrow's death wasn't bad enough, both Vietnamese children were paid under the table to get around California labor laws, which forbade actors under 18 from working through the night. So, to summarise, the kids weren't in the original draft, weren't properly supervised, and weren't even supposed to shoot at night in the first place.
Cameraman Randy Robinson said the first bomb blast was stronger than he expected. It ricocheted off a wall, backfired into the helicopter. The crew tried to maneuver the craft out.
As you can imagine, these days, Twilight Zone is only cited as the helicopter crash film. Number 8. The Woman King.
My king, it is a great honor, but perhaps it is too soon.
Led by a fierce performance from Viola Davis, this empowering story seemed poised to go all the way to Oscar gold. That is, until one crucial mistake dethroned the Woman King for good.
When the wind blows, our ancestors push us to march into battle against those who enslave us.
While many appreciated its historical tale of African triumph, more took issue with its glorification of the Dahomey Kingdom, a faction that famously supported the slave trade. Since the film never mentions that little detail, the Woman King faced all sorts of accusations about its loose retelling of history.
No one has a lukewarm reaction to this movie. What I think that they will all see is a movie that literally is going to shift the narrative for people of color.
So, despite the movie's clear merits, everyone from critics to audiences to historians to African organizations decided the Woman King wasn't worth a trip to theaters.
My father brought me as a gift to the king.
Is your father rich? He must be.
Number 7. Cleopatra. This movie has it all. Health scares, adulterous affairs, bankruptcy, and that's just behind the scenes. That's right, Cleopatra may be a touchstone of filmmaking, but odds are, you've only ever heard about its very, very bumpy production.
What has happened?
To me? You have happened to me.
Beleaguered by Elizabeth Taylor's failing health as well as constant script issues, the movie went over budget after completing only 10 minutes of workable footage. From there, distributor 20th Century Fox kept writing checks until they nearly shuttered their bank account. It almost backfired too, when Taylor's affair with co-star Richard Burton became the scandal of the century.
You must, if only to assert your own authority and power, otherwise inevitably in time we will lose everything.
Rest assured, they'll teach Cleopatra in film classes for decades, whether it's for the right reasons or not.
Perhaps consult with your superior.
Number 6. King Richard.
Just make sure you have fun, that's all we're here to do, go ahead.
In an ironic twist of fate, Will Smith's Oscar win is both a career high and a devastating low. Don't get us wrong, the actual performance was totally deserving.
You're gonna be the best that ever was. You're gonna be the greatest of all time.
The issue was that a mere hour before Smith's name was called, he took the stage prematurely to defend his wife from one of Chris Rock's tasteless jokes. Actions speak louder than words though, and after a few F-bombs, Smith spoke with his fist. Keep in mind, this all happened on live television.
Why is it that you gotta ruin everybody else's day?
It's a real shame for King Richard. Now it will only ever be referred to as the movie that created one of the most jaw-dropping Oscar moments of all time.
But everybody's wrong, so we're gonna watch the film again.
Number 5. Call Me By Your Name.
You're gonna hold what happened last night against me.
Don't let the awards fool you, this movie is all sorts of problematic. Even setting aside the highly questionable age gap between its lead characters, this 2017 drama is hard to revisit now that Armie Hammer's personal life isn't so personal anymore.
A woman who called herself only Effie came forward very publicly accusing Armie Hammer of violent rape.
Let's just say it's difficult to buy into a romance when one of the actors is accused of gross misconduct and very strange proclivities. The allegations were so bad, Hammer was effectively blacklisted from every Hollywood production in town. Even his own publicist left him. Given all that, most agree that rewatching Call Me By Your Name hits way too close to home.
Why don't you and I go swimming?
Right now?
Yeah. Come on. Let's go.
Number 4. Manhattan.
See, I'm glad you could get out tonight, because I really did want to see you a lot.
Nowadays, Woody Allen's controversial presence hangs over just about every single thing he's ever touched, but Manhattan is a special case. For those who don't know, the rom-com follows a middle-aged man who routinely justifies his sexual relationship with a 17-year-old.
I mean, no, not as old as I am, but in the same general ballpark as me.
What's more, Allen didn't just direct the film, and he didn't just write it either. He also starred. Yeah, all things considered, it's only natural that Manhattan has seen a lot of retrospective criticism. You can try to separate the art from the artist all you want, but given the eerie parallels, there's truly no way to ever see Manhattan the same way again.
I know, I'm a whiner. That's what we see.
Number 3. Kramer vs. Kramer.
It's me. It's my fault. You just married the wrong person, that's all.
Divorce is messy, but apparently making a movie with Dustin Hoffman is no cakewalk either. During the making of Kramer vs. Kramer, the star hurled all sorts of obscenities, microaggressions, and even physical glasses at his co-star Meryl Streep.
I'm very sorry about this.
Okay, just do what you have to do.
It was all in the name of so-called method acting, but there's a big difference between stepping into a character and full-on slapping your scene partner. In fact, you can practically see the tension crackle on screen, and it's heartbreaking to know that it wasn't just from the good performances. With Streep's testimony, we rule that Kramer vs. Kramer is guilty on all counts of crossing the line.
After that, it became increasingly difficult.
Number 2. Breakfast at Tiffany's. A product of its time or not, there's simply no excuse for the portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi in this movie. The very casting of Mickey Rooney, a white actor, would be enough to make waves in modern times, let alone the offensive performance he puts on.
But that was 2 weeks ago! You cannot go on or keep ringing my bell! You disturb me! You must have a key me!
Yes, Mr. Yunioshi is supposed to be a silly villain, but Rooney's zany physicality and offensive accent turns him into a complete racial caricature. And it doesn't help that he wore dark makeup and prosthetic teeth too. Many who worked on Breakfast at Tiffany's, including Rooney himself, have since expressed regret for the casting, which has left a black mark on an otherwise legendary film.
This time I'm warning you! I am definitely this time going to call in the police!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Wizard of Oz.
I'm frightened, Annie, I'm frightened.
When Judy Garland signed on for a trip to Oz, she followed the Yellow Brick Road all the way to unforgettable Hollywood infamy. And she wasn't alone. Margaret Hamilton was set on fire during a stunt gone wrong. The first director was terminated, with all his footage scrapped. Then there's the original actor for the Tin Man, who had a reaction to the aluminium dust and had to be hospitalized. And that's without even mentioning Garland herself, who endured all sorts of physical, emotional, and mental turmoil to keep her quote-unquote camera ready. I mean, we could go on. It's honestly amazing how such a dangerous and hostile work environment created one of cinema's most beloved films.
My, people People come and go so quickly here.
So, are there any movies that didn't make this list that you just can't look at the same again? Let us know in the comments below.
I'll go.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.